Good day, everyone. Previously, we delved into the significant aspects of trading, its process, various methods, and how we evaluate it. Hopefully, it has sparked some ideas about how you, as a future HR professionals, can leverage these tools. Today, we're building on that foundation and exploring a concept closely linked with training. This is performance management. Think about your favorite teacher or manager from the past. They didn't just deliver a lesson plan or assign tasks and then step back, did they? No. They were there with you throughout your journey, providing guidance, adjusting your course when necessary, and even encouraging you to do your best. In the workplace context, think also of managers as your guiding figure. They don't just train you and leave you to your own devices. They help you set goals, provide feedback, acknowledge your hard work, and even assist you in overcoming obstacles. So, their role is not just to ensure you perform your job. They are there to help you excel, grow, and even contribute to the overall objectives of the team and the organization. Similarly, in a classroom setting, consider your teacher in the same light. They don't just deliver lectures and assign homework. They gauge your understanding, provide you feedback, and even aid you in your improvement. And aside from that, they ensure that you are not just passively learning, but actively engaging with and understanding the material. They help you not just to pass the class, di ba? But to gain knowledge and skills that will be valuable in the real world. That's what performance management is all about. So we can say that it is not just a one-time event, but a continuous process of setting objectives, assessing progress, and providing ongoing coaching and feedback to ensure employees are meeting their goals and contributing to the company's goal. So performance management is a dynamic and interactive process that promotes growth, achievement, and even continuous improvement. So in this topic, we will start our journey into understanding this pivotal aspect of HR management. So let's get started.
Funan.
So these are the agenda of what we're going to discuss in this topic. What is performance management? We will look into the importance of performance management and differentiate performance management and performance appraisal. And of course, we will be looking into the most common steps or typical steps in performance evaluation. Okay. So in the workplace, each year, workers experience or they are undergoing a sort of an evaluation period. This is a formal evaluation of their performance in the workplace. So this may take the form of a brief conversation with their supervisor or an extensive process that spans several weeks. And assessments are a part of your journey as a professional, as a worker, as an employee of a certain organization. And assessments wield a significant influence on career development as they carry the potential for financial advancement, career progression, and even constructive criticism. Furthermore, they can also highlight areas of improvement that necessitate further training. So, owing to their potential significance, performance evaluations tends to elicit strong emotional response. And assessing work performance of an employee has become a more intricate task than it has before because multiple factors need to be taken into consideration when evaluating their job. So it's imperative that we do not overlook crucial inquiries regarding the communication between employees and customers, the competency of others in leading managers in leading their teams, whether or not managers team can provide feedback on their leadership, and the efficiency and accuracy of task completion by employees. So all of this uh, I mentioned hold significant weight and demand our attention. So assessing our employees' performance is really crucial. but it can be a complex process that demands careful considerations. So, factors such as purpose of evaluation, its intended beneficiaries, and even appropriate assessment approach, and of course, the potential challenges must all be taken into account. But we have to keep in mind that performance evaluation systems are not flawless. They are essential for companies to function effectively, but there might be there may still be unexpected hitches. This could result from insufficient training or of the evaluators or the use of antiquated metrics. Perhaps the job's dynamic nature make it also challenging to establish definitive performance targets to be met by the worker throughout the year. But despite these obstacles, performance evaluation remains an integral part of the modern workplace. Therefore, comprehending their mechanics, structure, and potential drawbacks can prove advantageous for all employees. And this understanding assists management in assessing the company's progress towards achieving its overarching objectives. So, let us define what is performance management. Performance management is a systematic process that involves various activities designed to enhance the overall performance of an organization, a team, or an individual. So, just like what I mentioned a while back, it's not a singular event, but a continuous cycle that includes five major aspects here: goal setting, monitoring, development, feedback, and evaluation. So, let's discuss the five components of performance management. The first is goal setting. So, at the core of performance management is we have to make sure that there is an alignment of individual and organizational objectives. And part of goal setting is, or part of goal setting involves setting clear, measurable, and even achievable performance goals based on strategic objectives of the organization. And these goals are often, alam na natin to, yung tinatawag natin na SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, ensuring that both the employee and the organization understand what's expected from them. Second component of performance management is performance monitoring. Monitoring performance involves tracking individuals' progress towards these goals, providing real-time feedback, and even adjusting goals as necessary. So this is typically a collaborative process with ongoing communication between the manager and the employee. Then number three, we have here performance development. This involves identifying opportunities for professional growth and providing the necessary training and resources to support the employee's development. This could include workshops, seminars, training, on-the-job training, mentoring programs. Those are examples of performance development or how PM can help in performance development. The number four and number five, we have performance evaluation and regular feedback. So when we say performance evaluation, this is a formal review of the individual's work performance. And these assessments are typically done annually or semi-annually, and it involves a comprehensive review of employees' achievement and areas for improvement. Remember that the goal of performance evaluation is not just to assess past performance, but also to plan for future growth and development. And then last component of performance management is regular feedback. So finally, in this component, this includes providing regular feedback, both positive and constructive. And also in here, feedback is a critical component of performance management as it helps employees understand what they're doing well, where they need to improve, and how their work contributes to the organization success. So looking into these components of performance management, we could say that performance management is a strategic and integrated approach to delivering successful results in organizations by improving the performance and developing the capabilities of teams and individuals. Okay, I hope you get that. Then let's look into the value or importance of performance management. So in general, I will be presenting to you here six major or six areas where performance management could be valuable to organizations. Number one, clear goals and alignment. Performance management systems are vital for organizations to function effectively, much like a GPS guiding a vehicle towards its destination. These systems establish clear goals and provide directions for employees, ensuring that everyone understands their role and what they need to achieve. And this strategic alignment of individual goals with the organization's broader objectives is facilitated through yung tinatawag nila na KPI or Key Performance Indicators. In this way, it helps employees see, makikita ng mga empleyado kung gaano nakaka-contribute yung kanilang mga trabaho dun sa overall strategy ng isang organization. This way, employees know exactly what they're aiming for and how their work contributes to the company's success. Okay? Number two, we have here productivity boost. Major benefit of management system is the role in boosting productivity. They facilitate the identification of individuals' strengths and weaknesses, providing the basis for targeted training and development programs. And also, by enhancing skill sets and improving performance, these systems or the performance management system ultimately boost productivity across the organization. Then, number three, we have here motivation and engagement. Motivation and engagement are other critical areas where performance management systems make a substantial difference. And performance management enable regular feedback and recognition of achievements, fostering a sense of accomplishments. This in turn will boost job satisfaction and engagement, thereby creating a positive and motivating work environment that not only makes employee more engaged in the work, but also reduce turnover rates. Number four, we have here informed decision making. Of course, one cannot understate the importance of informed decision making in an organization. Performance management systems, by providing valuable performance data, this will now aid managers in making crucial decisions, especially along human resource management. These systems make processes such as promotions, salary raise, even layoffs, nagiging more transparent and fair because you are using performance data, hindi lang haka-haka or yung tinatawag natin na paggamit ng emotions or systems na hindi nakabase sa mga data. So by this performance management, it allows us to make it sure that decisions that we are making, especially along HR, are based on clear and even objective criteria. Number five, performance tracking and improvement. Performance management systems also provide a structured approach to tracking performance over time. So, by measuring and analyzing performance data, organizations can identify trends, areas of improvement, and even implement corrective actions to facilitate a culture of continuous improvement. And then lastly, we have here facilitated communication. Okay. So a well-implemented performance management system fosters clear and consistent communication between managers and their teams. This could lead to a better understanding of expectations, clearer job roles, and even increased job satisfaction. So looking at this importance of performance management, we could say that performance management systems are indispensable for any organization that aims for success and competitiveness. They provide direction, improve productivity, boost morale, facilitate informed decision, and ensure alignment towards common goals, all while fostering a culture of open communication and continuous improvement. Okay? Get it? Now, one of the concerns pertaining performance management is these two terms, performance management and performance appraisal. Sometimes these are being used interchangeably, but they have distinct differences. So let's try to look into the difference of performance management and performance appraisal. So when we are referring to performance management, it's like what I've discussed in the previous slide. We are talking about here continuous holistic process that involves setting goals, monitoring progress, providing feedback, and facilitating employee development. So ang pinaka-aim talaga nito is the improvement of the overall performance of not just the individual, but teams and organizational level. Okay? So isipin natin na ang performance management is think of it as a big picture. It's an ongoing process that keeps the organization running smoothly. It's like a coach in a sports team, guiding players continuously, helping them improve their skills, setting clear roles, and even ensuring that everyone is working towards the same goal. And what is the goal in sports? It's winning the game and ultimately winning championships. And that is also true inside the organization. Okay? When you provide when you guide your people, when you help them improve their skills, when you provide them clear roles and monitoring their performance to see that that they are working towards the same goal, you could also win in the marketplace. So this process is happening all the time with regular communication and alignment with the team's overall strategy. So yun yung performance management. Now, etong performance appraisal, this is just a component of performance management. Okay? You have to always remember that they are not the same. But performance appraisal is a component of the overall performance management system. Kasi ang focus ng performance appraisal is just more on assessing individual achievements, yeah, and looking into areas for improvement over a specific period. Okay? So, let's try to make an analogy. Etong performance appraisal is just part of a performance management, more like a report card day at school. Yeah? It happens periodically, like once or twice a year, where the manager formally reviews how an employee has performed their roles. So it's a chance to look back on what has been achieved, where improvements can be made, and to decide on things like who gets a promotion, who gets a raise, or who needs more training. So it's a more formal and usually has more immediate impacts on the employee's work life. So to look into, to look closely to the difference of these two terms, we have here some several areas that differentiate performance management and performance appraisal. So process, focus, communication, outcome, alignment, and scope. So let's delve into these 6 major differences between performance management and performance appraisal. Okay, so process. The first major difference is how this process unfolds. Performance management, again, is a continuous cycle that happens throughout the year. For instance, as a manager, I would regularly set goals with my team, monitor their progress, and provide ongoing feedback. So this is a dynamic process that adapts as situations change. On the other hand, pag titignan mo yung performance appraisal, it's typically a periodic event often taking a place annually or semi-annually. So it's more formal occasion where I would sit down with each team member to discuss their performance over the past period. Okay? Next is focus. Performance management takes holistic approach encompassing all aspects of performance. So it's not just about what the employees have achieved, but also how they achieve it, their potential for future growth, and their alignment with the organization's objective. In contrast, performance appraisal primarily focuses on evaluating on individuals' past performance. For example, in an appraisal, I might discuss whether an employee met their sales target, while in performance, I'd look also at how they could improve their sales techniques and develop further. Number three, communication. Performance management communication is ongoing and often informal. This dialogue or this continuous dialogue between a manager and an employee can include feedback, coaching, addressing issues as they arise. For instance, I might give my team members a regular feedback during team meetings or one-on-one session. However, performance appraisal involves a more structured formal discussion, usually happening at set intervals. Here, I will be providing a comprehensive review of an employee performance over a set period. Okay. Then number four, I have here outcome. The outcomes of this process also differ. Performance management aims to improve performance at individual, team, and organizational levels. So the goal is to promote continuous growth and development. So let's say through performance management, I would help my team develop new skills or improve existing ones. Performance appraisal, on the other hand, can directly influence decisions related to promotions, salary adjustments, or even identifying training. So, for instance, an employee who consistently performs well in their appraisals will be considered for promotion. And for those who are not consistent with their performance, mababa yung kanilang level of performance, hindi na meet yung targets, they might be recommended for training. Okay, so that's the connection of performance management to our previous lesson, which is training. Then number five, behavior alignment. Performance management aligns individual goals with organizational objectives. So it ensures that employees understand how their work contributes to the overall success of the organization. So let's say, for example, in performance management, I might help an employee understand how their role supports the company's mission and strategic goals. On the contrary, performance appraisal focuses on assessing individuals' achievement and areas for improvement. So, performance evaluation is about reflecting on past performance and identifying where improvements can be made. Okay. And then the last factor would be scope. Okay. Performance management has a broader scope, covering all aspects of performance, including setting objectives, providing feedback, coaching, and development. So it's about a complete picture of an employee's performance. On the other end, pag titignan mo, narrower ang focus ng performance appraisal. It concentrates on the evaluation of past performance. So we could consider this as a snapshot of an employee's performance over a specific period. Okay. So remember that while these processes are different, they are complementary. Okay. Performance appraisal is a vital part of a broader performance management process. Okay. So I hope you could now properly differentiate performance management and performance appraisal. Now let's look into the steps in performance evaluation. Okay. So there are steps that typically involve in the conduct of performance evaluation. Okay. So the first or the eight steps involved in performance evaluation are the following. Okay? So the first step is establishing performance standards. Ano ba nangyayari dito sa performance standards? So this is the first step in establishing performance standards. So we have to establish clear, measurable targets that are aligned with the company's strategic goals. These standards should be understood and agreed upon by both the manager and the employee. Let's say, for example, I am managing a customer service team. Okay? As a manager, the first thing I do is to set clear and measurable performance standards for my team members. For instance, I might establish standards around average call handle time, customer satisfaction scores, or even number of calls answered per day. Okay? So ano ba itong sinasabi natin na performance standards? Performance standards, these are explicit criteria that define the expected levels of performance in a work role. So para siyang benchmark against the actual performance, okay, which can be measured and evaluated. So performance standards are benchmark or targets that employees are expected to meet in their job roles. They serve as measurable reference point that helps in assessing employees' effectiveness or productivity. And again, performance standards are typically characterized by SMART criteria. I'm not being smart. And most of the time, these performance standards are based on the organizational overall goals and specific duties and responsibilities of the employee's role. So, makikita natin dito sa table, okay, yung job role tapos yung mga performance standards. So these standards can be both qualitative and quantitative, encompassing various aspects of job performance such as productivity, efficiency, quality of work, adherence to policies and procedures, and even interpersonal skills or can be part of performance standards. So, by providing clear expectations of what constitutes satisfactory performance, performance standards facilitate objective performance assessment. It also promote accountability and support the identification of performance gaps for further development. Okay? So, the following table is an example of performance standards for different job roles. So remember, these are just examples. In the real world scenario, performance standards would be tailored to the specific role, the individual's capabilities, and the organization's goals and strategy. Okay, so that's the first step in performance evaluation. There must be a standard so that you know how to properly rate it. You know what to rate and how to properly rate the performance of individuals and teams. Next is communication or communicating the expectation. So once the standards are established, you need to communicate this clearly to your employee so that they would understand what is expected from them. Okay? So, if for example, once I was able to set the performance standards, I might hold a team meeting or one-on-one discussion to explain this standards. So going back to our example na yung customer service representative, ako yung manager, I would explain to them why maintaining a certain call handle time is important for our department's efficiency and customer satisfaction. Okay, the third step is monitor performance. So after the expectations are set, I would monitor now my team's performance against these standards. So marami ng mga technique na pwedeng gawin dito such as observing how the employee perform their work, analyzing productivity metrics, and even gathering feedback from colleagues and customers. So ano ba ang goal nito? That is to gather accurate information about the employee performance. So how do you observe that? Pwedeng daily observation, weekly reports, automated tracking system. Let's say for example, going back to customer service representatives, I might review yung kanilang mga weekly reports that shows each representative's average call handle time and customer satisfaction scores. Okay, then number 4 we have here comparing now performance to standards. So after monitoring, the manager can now compare the actual performance of the employee to the established performance standards. Okay. So this is now a place where we can now identify where the employee excel or where they might need improvement. So, for example, I might find that a customer service representative consistently exceeds the call handle time standard for example, 7 minutes yung average handle time, nag-exceed siya, naging 10 minutes. Pero, nakaka-receive siya ng high customer satisfaction score. So, ang average handle time is, ito performance standard natin is 7 minutes lang dapat. Okay? So, by looking into yung kanyang weekly reports, when reviewing the data, na-find out na this representative often takes 10 minutes per call. So, nag-exceed siya doon sa call handle time standard. So, this might seem like this representative is underperforming. No? However, pag nakalagay naman doon sa report niya, doon sa customer satisfaction scores niya, napakataas naman. So this means that despite taking longer on calls, the representative is providing service that customers find highly satisfying. So in this stage, the manager has compared now the representative's actual performance, which is yung 10-minute call handle time and high customer satisfaction scores. Okay? Ang standard is 7 minutes. So from this scenario, the manager identifies that while the representative might need to improve efficiency, which is to reduce call handle time to follow yung standard, which is 7 minutes. Okay, and then they could also excel in customer satisfaction, which is also crucial in customer service role. So makikita mo dito yung area of strengths and areas for improvements ng isang customer service representative. So pwede nating gamitin to provide feedback, which is the succeeding steps, and to create development plan in the next stages of performance evaluation process. Okay? So the fifth step is nakaligtaan kong i-present ko. Okay, the fifth step is provide feedback. So once there is a comparison already of the performance to the standards, the manager could now provide feedback based on this comparison. So feedback should be constructive, specific, and balanced, highlighting both yung strengths and areas for improvement. Using the previous example, I might praise the representative for their high customer satisfaction scores, but I will also be discussing strategies to reduce yung kanilang call handle time. Okay? So, yun yung step number 5. Then, number 6, conduct performance appraisal meeting. So, ito na yung formal meeting between the manager and employee. This is a chance where magkakaroon tayo ng comprehensive review of the employee's performance. Okay, so pag na-gather lahat ng mga data, mga performance reviews, there will be a formal performance appraisal meeting with each team member. So, discuss na dito in detail yung mga performance. So, looking back to our previous example, I might discuss the representative performance trends, their impact on the team, and my expectations for the future. So in this stage, the employee should also have the opportunity to provide their own feedback and discuss also their own goals and aspirations. Then after that, we have here last two steps: develop improvement plan. Okay. So if there are areas of improvement, the manager and the employee will now collaborate to create a plan to address these issues. And this might involve further training, mentoring, or adjusting the employee's work responsibilities. For instance, if a representative is struggling with the call handle time, we might identify a training course on efficient call handling techniques or arrange them for a shadow or tawag natin na mentoring or on-the-job training of a more experienced representative. And then the last, finally, is the improvement plan is put in action. And the manager will continue to monitor the employee's performance, providing feedback, and making further adjustments as needed. So, for example, the example data type, if I notice significant improvements in the call handle time after the training, we might focus on another area for development. So, this marks now the beginning of the next performance evaluation cycle. Okay. So, again, these steps I presented represent a typical performance evaluation process. But remember that process can vary between organizations or even between different roles within the organization. Okay? So, yun. Hopefully, nagets natin yung mga stages or steps in conducting performance evaluation. So, let's have some summary and recap. So in our discussion, we delve into the concepts of performance management and performance appraisal. We were able to understand that performance management is an ongoing, holistic process akin to a coach guiding a sports team. It involves the process of setting clear and measurable goals, monitoring progress, providing consistent feedback, and promoting professional development. We also learned that the various steps involved in performance evaluation, starting with performance standards and communicating to employees. And then after that, you monitor performance and compare it to standards and provide feedback. Okay. We also highlight the necessity to develop improvement plans and most importantly, implement and monitor those plans for effective performance enhancement. Okay? Contrarily, performance appraisal, component of performance management is, again, yung sinabi natin kanina, a more periodic and a formal review. Para siyang report card day, di ba? Focusing on assessing past performance, identifying areas for improvement, and planning for future growth. But these two mechanisms are integral to organization success, playing pivotal roles in productivity, motivation, informed decision making, and fostering a culture of continuous improvement. So as we wrap up, I urge you to contemplate on these systems and their application to your future roles within organizations. So understanding these dynamics can equip you with valuable insights beneficial to you as employees and for the organizations you may contribute to in the future. Okay? So, thank you.